I want to do the longest bass lesson of all time. I'm going to just see how far I can go with this. We're going to start at the major scale, talk about some ways to practice this, and we're going to go until I want to stop. And I'm using my bass fundamentals course, which is free, and the link is below. And we're going to start off with the major scale. So generally, these are the kind of things I do with my students, especially new students. If the major scale, playing the major scale in a few different ways. So, the classic. Here's the classic. Which, if you have ever had a bass lesson, I'm sure you've learned that. So, this is the major scale in the classic position. So if you want to play that in A, or in D flat, or in G flat, you just play those fingerings or those shapes, and that's what happens. Next step, I would say, is all notes in one position. So if we took our major scale that we just played, the classic, and we try grab everything we can in one position. So, for instance, you see now I'm playing the 7th below the root because I can get it without shifting. I carry on, and I play my notes that appear on the G string because I can get those without shifting. So whatever you can get without shifting, you play. So if we had to do that in A, if we had to do that in D, if we had to do that in G, that would be all notes in one position. The next one is backwards. So you start on your pinky. So let's say I do this starting on E. You see my pinky is playing the E, and I'm going diagonally that way, like this. If I had to do that in D flat, you see it's starting on the pinky. If I had to do that in B, in A, whoops, I messed up. That's okay. That's life. 3-note per string. I love 3-note per string. So check it out. Let's do it in C. We're going to play index, middle, pinky. So in terms of the frets, 10, whatever that is, 8, 10, 12, 8, 10, 12. And then index, middle, pinky again. But 9, 10, 12, 9, 10, 12. So these two strings are the same, and these two strings are the same, which is pretty glorious. And now you're playing your major scale a fifth above the octave, which is pretty cool. Now what if we do that in B flat? Now what if we do that in E up here? Okay. Now in terms of technique, when you're coming up high on the neck here, you need to move your arm around the bass and have your whatever that is, your elbow come out, so that you can get there with your thumb supporting your hand. Because what a lot of beginners do is they'll be playing here, and then when they come up here, their elbow is kind of inside their ribs, and they're kind of, but no, get your elbow out so that you can get the strength from the elbow into the arm, into the thumb to support the hand. Okay? Now we come down here. Let's do this 3-note per string in G. So, of course, you're going to need some super stretchy stretchison going on here. But it's possible. Now that's 3-note per string. I'm going to go through all of these, and then I'm going to talk about how to actually make these musical. Then across 2 octaves. I love this. We're always going to shift on the index finger. If we do this in A, G. I mean, I'm looking at the chat, so please. If there's any questions, let me know. Let's do that 2-octave major scale. In A flat, shifting with the index finger always. And you're going to come down the same way you went up. In G. Oops, I play Lydian by accident. Because I love Lydian. This is F. Okay, so that is a 2-octave major scale. Now, in terms of practicing these in a musical way, instead of just going, let's take all notes in one position, instead of just always doing this, and then just going up and down, and up and down, and up and down, and up and down, forever, I would suggest you start to understand the relationship between the intervals, okay? What does that mean? The distance between notes, the sound that makes. So as an example, if I play from the 5th to the 7th of C, you see it's beautiful. So you spend time with intervals. Now I'm improvising. I'm not just playing the scale up and down. I'm starting to go, oh wow, when I go from there to there, it has this kind of feeling. Or when I go from here, you see how nice and sweet that sounds. So you don't just keep doing this forever. That's a mistake that people make. Start to make music. Now you're improvising. With these, you're understanding when your finger hits this fret or this interval within the scale, it makes this note come out, which makes this mood happen. That's what you need to start to practice. And if you're doing that with 3-note per string, so here's C major, 3-note per string, then I would do. Exploring that sound and that key. So I like to think, don't practice scales, spend time within a key. Okay. Namaste. Something a lot of people do is they play intervals within the scale throughout the whole scale. This is a common thing people learn. So for instance, major scale in thirds, this exercise. You can see when you combine those, they can get pretty interesting. Or fifths. What's cool about fourths is that everything is a fourth except off the fourth. So check it out. Fourth, 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 but here sharp fall. Fourth, 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 fourth. Which I think is pretty cool because it helps you remember this. Fourth, 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 sharp, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. And the fifths, everything is a fifth except of the seventh. So look, fifth, 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 flat 5, fifth. So when you're practicing your fourths and fifths, just remember that. Everything is a fourth except the fifth. Everything is a fifth except the seventh. I really like that. Sixths, you can practice. It's a beautiful sound. And try and sing these because you want to be musical. You don't want to just hit the notes and then go like, wow, the bass is just doing it all for me. No, you need to hear these in your ear holes and your mind's ear hole. Okay, we're going to talk about triads now. Triads are 3-note chords, and we need to find out all of the triads in our major keys. And how do we do that? We play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note. So if we're in the key of B flat, and we play a B flat major scale, and we play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note, we get 1, 3, 5. And we find the first triad in any major key, which is major. And if you do this from every point in the major scale, you get all your triads, diatonic triads, the triads in the key. So B flat, D minor, B flat, C minor, D minor, E flat major, F major, G minor, A diminished, back to B flat. So again, this is cool because look, B flat shape, B flat major starting with the middle finger, minor, C minor starting with the pinky, D minor starting with the index, E flat major starting with the middle, same as chord 1, F major starting with the pinky, G minor starting with the index, and then diminished starting with the ring. So look, when you do this, you're learning to play a major triad starting in the middle and starting on the pinky. You're learning to play a minor triad starting on the pinky and starting on the index. So not only are you learning your triads, okay, in any major key, you're also learning ways to play major and minor triads starting on 2 different fingers. So let's say I want to play G major triad, then I know now, oh, it's this shape. So if I hit the G and I play that shape, I just played a G major triad. And I can do the middle finger or the pinky. Here, okay. Here, see, this is A major starting on the middle, A major starting on the pinky. And same with minor. We did C minor with the pinky, and then we did D minor, the same chord type starting on the index. So now if we go to F, and I say I want to play a minor triad, I can do it starting on the pinky, and I can also do it starting on the index. So I'm learning a lot about harmony here. I'm learning all the chords in my major scale, and then I'm also learning 2 different ways to play a major triad and 2 different ways to play a minor triad, which is pretty cool. Sorry, I'm trying to monitor the chat. Anyways, so Let's do our triads now again. And remember, if you click the link to the Bass Fundamentals course, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Everything is written out. It's free and I don't want your email. This is to help bass players so that you don't need to spend $1 billion going to Berkeley when this information is everywhere. But I'm going to just go through it with you so that you can see and hear how to play it, so it's not just written down. Let's take the triads and let's do this in the key of G now. So G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp diminished, and you're done. Let's do it in the key of B. B major, C sharp minor, D sharp minor, E major, F sharp major, G sharp minor, A sharp diminished, and you're done. Now, once you can play your triads like that, I like to teach people to play them across one string, and I'll show you what I mean. So that was kind of all in one position. You see, I'm playing all my triads, and I'm not shifting my hand. But now, check this out. Here's G major scale across one string. Now I'm going to take those shapes I learned, and I'm going to play them starting on those roots. So check it out. It's quite fun to do it all starting on your pinky. If I did an A, see, this is cool, doing it all on your pinky. So I played the first shape with my middle, and then I did all the other ones starting on my pinky. So that's something you can do. I like to play everything starting on my index as well. So check this out. So there I started every triad on my index, and I used my pinky, and I went to the index again. So I'm only using 2 fingers. Pretty cool. Except for diminished, then I had 1 finger different. But you can play all your triads except diminished with this cool just index and pinky and then index again. So as I hit that pinky, my index starts to move to play these notes. And you say to yourself, well, Greg, why is that cool and why is that useful? Because then when you want to play a 2-octave triad, a triad across 2 octaves, your index will be ready to do that maneuver. You see, that's why it's cool. So now you're learning good technique. Like, how do you cover the bass quickly and easily? Yes, like that. And you learn to roll and shift and pivot from the index. You see. That's why I teach that. And I need to practice this. Okay, so the next thing I would suggest is learning all your triads starting from the same root, so you really understand the formula. Okay, so G major, G minor, G diminished, G augmented, G sus2, G sus4, G sus in heaven. Let's do that in F. F major, F minor, F diminished, F augmented, F sus2, F sus4. So you should be able to play all of your triads, these 6 classic types, starting from one root. Then you'll see if you really know it and if you really understand the formula. And what I love as well is you start to hear the difference in your triads. Because look, major, when I play minor, I can really hear the weight of that major third becoming minor. You see? And then I go to diminished. Then back to major. Then augmented. See, I love to hear major becomes minor, minor becomes diminished, or major becomes augmented. Major, minor, diminished, major, augmented, sus2, sus4. So yeah, I love to be able to hear the weight of each chord and how it affects the mood of the music. You hear the intervals changing with inside the key, inside the chord. Now, if you can play these as chords, you get an even better idea of that. So check it out. Major chord, minor chord, diminished chord, then back to minor, then back to major, then augmented. You see, and then sus2, beautiful sound, sus4, also a very cool sound. So learn those chord types. And don't say, Greg, you're going too fast. Just rewind it and put the speed at 75% speed, and then I'm not going too fast. Okay. We carry on going to seventh chords now. What are seventh chords? These are 4-note chords. When it comes to triads, a triad is just 3 notes. It can be any notes. It can be this. That's 3 notes. So that's a triad. Seventh chords are generally 4-note chords. And the same way we went play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note for triads. We're just going to do that one more time. Play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note. So in order to find all the seventh chords in any major key, we're going to play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note. 1, 3, 5, 7. C major 7. So chord 1 is C major 7. In any major key, chord 1 is a major 7. If you're playing just diatonic fundamental chords. Okay. Remember, there's no rules. So I can go from C major 7 to this chord if I want to. Okay. There's no rules in music. Please stop thinking like that. But in terms of diatonic chords, when you build the fundamental seventh chords based on this, stacking thirds, tertiary harmony, it is what it is, okay? 1, 3, 5, 7. That is your major 7 arpeggio. Now you do this from every note in the scale, and you're going to get C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G dominant 7, then you're going to get A minor 7, and then you're going to get B minor 7 flat 5. So in order to kind of keep them in one position, that's how I would play them. And again, same with triads, we are learning to play a major 7 starting on our middle finger. We're playing a minor 7 starting on our pinky. Then we're learning a minor 7 starting on our index, you see. Then we go the same as chord 1, chord 4 and chord 1, we play the same. Then you have a new chord dominant, which is like a major triad with a flat 7 at the top. Then we got minor 7 like this. This is quite cool because when you do it like this, you're learning to play it across 2 strings. So I'm playing a minor 3rd and then a minor 3rd. Then diminished, you play a minor 3rd and then you play a major 3rd of the flat 5. So that's quite a cool shape to know. Both of those are really cool. So you're learning a lot by just doing this exercise. So again, if we do this in B flat major 7, C minor 7, D minor 7, E flat major 7, F dominant 7, G minor 7, A minor 7 flat 5, and you're done. Okay. Now again, just like we did with triads, we want to play these all across one string. So you can use your same shapes you just did there. If I did this in A major 7, B minor 7, C sharp minor 7, D major 7, E dominant 7, then F sharp minor 7, then G sharp minor 7 flat 5. Or I really like, again, like I said before, to play them all starting on my index finger. Okay. So index finger, index finger, index finger, index finger, index finger. That's a beautiful song. Index finger, index finger, index finger, index finger. I think that's the Beatles. Okay, so you want to do that in a bunch of different keys, and then, like I said, once you get used to that, then you can get used to playing across 2 octaves, which again is really good for you. Then, just like we did with triads, playing them all from the same root, so you really understand their flavor and how they affect the root. You know, once you get this in your mind, this sound like you see, I'm hearing that root, and I'm hearing the intervals changing on top, how that affects the color of the chord. So major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, minor 7, flat 5. Okay, if you did that starting on F over here, major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7, flat 5. You also get, it's not diatonic to the key of the major scale, but you also do get a full diminished, like that. That's a good one to know. And again, you can play that starting on the index like that, or starting on the ring finger. It's cool that you can play the same thing with different fingers. That's what's kind of cool about, interesting about bass. Let's carry on going. There's a million things we can do to practice our seventh chords if you want to take this to the next level and get more musical with it. So, of course, you're going to play these all in one position in the order they appear as you play them in the key 1, 3, 5, 7, ascending order. You can start messing around with the order you play these in, and a classic way to do that is spread seventh chord. Instead of playing 1, 3, 5, 7, you're going to play 1, 5, 7, 3. You're going to spread the voicing out. It's going to sound more melodic and beautiful. So as an example, if we were in G major, 1, 3, 5, 7, instead of playing 1, 3, 5, 7, we're going to play 1, 5, 7, 3. Oh my God. Okay. And now what? You can play all of your voicings, like all of your seventh chords like that. This is such a beautiful sound. You can really hear a song when you play these voicings. So try playing through the whole key like that. So 1, 5, 7, 3. And you're done. Okay, so that would be, let's do that in A. Major 7, minor 7, minor 7, major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7, flat 5, and you're done. Now you can also play in versions of those. So just like you can play in versions of triads, you hear classical musicians practice this. Okay, that's just in versions. You're just 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 1, 5, 1, 3. So you can do that with your seventh chord arpeggio spread voicings. Okay, this is really intense stuff. We are now moving into intermediate territory here. 1, 5, 7, 3. This is shape 1, okay? And the inversion of that would be this. 3, 7, 1, 5. And the next inversion is 5, 1, 3, 7. And lastly, 7, 3, 5, 1. And then you're done. So you can hear how musical you can get with these shapes. It's a lot kind of, it's very different to just this root position like reggae triad, which is like the greatest sound of all time. But this spreads out that voicing. It just widens the intervals. Everything becomes melodic. So that's major 7 in these different inversions, spread voicings, and in different inversions. You can do minor 7. And you're done. You can hear already how beautiful these sound. You can come up with some pretty crazy bass lines. Okay, so that is just some advice to check out the page I've written here on spread 7th chord voicings. Let's carry on. Pentatonics. Okay. Pentatonics. We are talking about pentatonics now. So, classic bass player stuff, classic guitar stuff, classic music stuff. Pentatonics are incredible, but they are, even though they are definitely highly rated, they are still underrated. And now I'm going to show you what I mean. Here's G minor pentatonic. So this is like every bass fill uses a minor uses pentatonic. So that would be shape 1 minor pentatonic. Now the next shape, I'm hoping some of you know this already, is major pentatonic. So when you play the same notes as shape 1 and you just play them starting on the next note of the scale, you're playing the same group of 5 notes, because pentatonic is a 5-note scale. This scale is G, B flat, C, D, F. And here it's B flat, C, D, F, G. Same notes, but this is called G minor pentatonic. This is called B flat major pentatonic. You could also just see them as being the same thing because they are the same notes. But it's kind of cool to understand how they're related and how they work, because we're going to get into using these in more interesting ways. We're going to use those names. But so first off, minor pentatonic shape 1, then shape 2, then shape 3, then shape 4, then shape 5. Whoa, my brain just exploded. I'm sorry. Let me do that again. Shape 2, shape 3, shape 4, shape 5. There it is. So 1, 2, shape 3, shape 4, shape 5, and you're done. Okay, so you need to get those shapes down. Let's do it in F. Shape 2, shape 3, shape 4, shape 5, and you're done. Now, the way I like to think about remembering this is like this, okay? When you play shape 1, you have a minor third, and then you have 3 sets of tones. So this whole scale across the bass is going to be made up of those 2 intervals. You're either going to play a minor third or you're going to play a tone. That's all you're going to be playing. So check it out. Minor third, then tone, tone, tone. That's shape 1. Shape 2 is tone, minor third, tone. Shape 3 is tone, 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 minor third. Shape 4 is minor third, tone, tone. Shape 5 is tone, tone, minor third. What's kind of cool about shape 4 and 5 is this. Once you play that first minor third, now look, you're going to play an F, so now you're just playing F minor pentatonic. And here, once you play that first tone, now you're going to play A flat, so you're just going to play A flat major pentatonic. So shape 4 and 5 are essentially the shape, same as shape 1 and 2. Okay. Let's do this because it's very important. Let's do an A. A, shape 1. So A minor pentatonic, shape 1. Shape 2, C major pentatonic, you can call it. Shape 3, shape 4. Remember, that's just kind of shape 1. And shape 5 is kind of just shape 2. Because there's A and there's C. That's your minor pentatonic and that's your major pentatonic. Okay. Next thing to do is go up one, down one, up one, down one, up one, down one. You see? Don't just always ascend everything. Go up, down, up, down, etc. Now, another thing I really like to teach is moving a melodic blueprint through all shapes. And so what does that mean? It means we make a very short, memorable melody and we move it through all the shapes. As an example, I'm going to do something really simple. So I just went da da ya. I'm in shape 1 and I went ba ba ya. Move that shape 2. Da da ya, shape 3. Da da ya, shape 4. Da da ya, shape 5. Da da ya, da da ya, da da ya, da da ya. So now if you're playing fills, da da ya, da da ya, da da ya, da da ya. That's an example of a very simple shape that occurs across one string. What about across 2 strings? Okay, now I've used shape 1, just I did this over here and I did this over here. So now I'm going to go, and I'm going to go. Let's try another one. You can hear this starts to sound like a solo or fill, like if I went. You can make fills with this, and not just on your high strings. I mean, I'm guilty of teaching this and sticking to the D and the G strings, but you can do this here. Practice it across all string sets. So whatever you make up here, move it to another string set. Not just always like high up, because they sound cool everywhere. And eventually you can move them to like 3 strings, 3 string sets or whatever. You see, so then you're going to really test how well you know these shapes, because that is very cool. Very cool stuff. Okay, I'm practicing now. I need to be teaching. Okay. Now, the next step, which is a very deep thing to talk about, big concept that I like to teach with my students. Again, all of this is written out on the free bass fundamentals course that costs nothing. I don't want your email. I just want you to learn to play bass like a monster. I want you to have access to this information for free. Pentatonics of chord tones is the next topic I'm talking about now. We're getting into like maybe slightly above intermediate or intermediate. See how it goes for you. What this means is the following. Generally, when people learn pentatonic scales, they learn like what we just did, and they kind of stay there, and they think, I'm playing G minor pentatonic. So if someone plays a G minor chord, like G minor triad, like we learned before, or G minor 7, then they're going to use G minor pentatonic for fills. That's 100% correct. That works amazingly. It sounds great, okay? But what you can start to get into as well is the following. Pentatonics off of chord tones. This means you're playing pentatonics not starting on the root of the chord. So as an example, here's F major 7, okay? And I'm going to play E minor pentatonic because the 7th of F major is E. And if I play that E minor pentatonic shape, can you hear how beautiful that sounds? That's the sound of E minor pentatonic on F major 7. Now, I'm going to explain the theory behind this just because I know some people will be like, but why is it working and whatever. My vibe is this. It works and it sounds good. Now get to using it. But I know some people do like to know, like, but why is this working? Okay. just to carry on being absolute tangent ho, the reason why I don't think it's like crazy important to know how it works, it's the same way as like if you're making a curry and you want to put a spice inside the curry, you just lob the spice in and then you just decide how much or how little you want. You don't go like, the spice is formulated of bicarbonated magnesium, and that's is emulsifying the with the chicken. No, you don't do that. You just like, I understand this. This smells good and it tastes pretty good. I'm gonna lob this much in. You don't get involved in the science unless you're interested in that. Anyways, though, if you're interested in this, here's your F major 7, and here's E minor pentatonic. So you're getting the 7th, the 9th, the 3rd, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th of that F major 7 chord. You are automatically playing those intervals by playing E minor pentatonic on an F major. That's why it works, okay? So now that you know that there is theoretical reasoning behind it, and you know what that is, I hope you'll get into making music with it and having a fun time. That's just one example. There's so many examples of how this works. I'll do another one. Here's C major 7. And I'm going to play D major pentatonic. You see, I'm getting the 9, the 3rd, the sharp 11, the 6th, and the 7th by playing D major pentatonic. Wow. You see, boom, that's D major pentatonic on C. C, C, C. It's such a beautiful sound. Why theoretically does it work, Greg? Because you're getting the 9, the 3rd, the 5th, the 6th, the 7. That's what automatically happens when you do that. Constantly thinking about why theoretically it works, though, will slow you down. That's why it's better to just think of it as a flavor. To go, this works, it sounds cool, let me work on it to see how much I want to put in there. The flavor is beautiful. Now I want to spend time being creative with it. Because I can't go like this. Here's C major. If I do the D major of the 2nd, then I'm getting the 3rd, the 6th, 6, 6, 2, 2, 2. No, that's too slow. That's why people always say, they go, how do you stop thinking while you play? And then I say, okay, stop thinking while you play. Stop doing that so much. Don't train yourself to think so much while you play. Get into the arc of a line, the color of a line, how it feels, singing along with the line, phrasing, dynamics, rhythm. Those are things you can do in real time. I can go, I don't need to think, but I can make musical lines that are dynamic and rhythmic. But if I had to think of the theory behind like what I'm playing, that's so slow that I would not be able to play and improvise and think. So stop training yourself to do that. Anyways, there's so many examples of pentatonics of chord tones that are incredible. I'm going to maybe do one more, but all of them are written out. You can take a look at it. Here's, let's go D dominant 7. And I'm going to play A minor pentatonic. That's a cool one. I really like, here's D7 again. C major pentatonic on D7 or C major 7. You hear how beautiful that sounds. So you can get deep with this. I get super deep with the students I teach online. You can play seventh chords on top of other seventh chords. You can play triads on top of other triads. You can play pentatonics on other seventh chords. You can combine all these things like a seventh chord arpeggio into a triad, into an arpeggio, all on that. Anyways, these are all written out. Do one at a time. Don't try and start combining things. Even get one pentatonic for chord tone in your ears and fingers and go, whoa, okay, I get it now. I get this, why this works. I'm going to work on this. Spend 10 minutes a day on just that, and then pick another one the next day or the next week. Don't look at the page, because I've written out like every example in every key. You can't practice that in one day or 1 week or 1 year. Honestly, you can spend your whole life on this concept. Pentatonic pairs, I'm not going to get into that right now, but that's on the page. You can look at that if you want to. Let's carry on. Oh my God. It's modes. Now, I'm hoping that some of you, because now we're getting into semi beyond intermediate, advanced, whatever the F that means. I honestly hate those terminology, but I'm sure you kind of have an understanding what that means. So modes. I don't want to go like, I don't want to do full teaching modes lesson. I have done a lot of those on my Patreon and on this YouTube channel and on my Instagram. But I'm going to just give you like a quick vibe on practicing modes. Now, of course, here's B flat major. And when you play B flat major starting on the next note, and then you play the same note, you're going to get C Dorian. Okay, I'm playing B flat major starting on C. So here's B flat major, here's C Dorian, then next is D Phrygian, then E flat Lydian, then F mixed Lydian, then G Aeolian, then A Locrian. And then you're done. So I hope you kind of know your modes in every key. If you don't, start getting it down. Modes are cool for composing and playing fills. They're very beautiful. I do love modes. Each mode has a different mood. That's what people miss when they don't get taught properly. They think, here's B flat major, and here's the B flat major scale. And then I'm just playing B flat major starting on C, and I'm playing C Dorian. That is literally what you're doing. That is theoretically what you're doing. But look, here's B flat major, and here's the B flat major scale. If you don't play the chord that goes with the mode when you practice, you will not hear the effect the mode has on the mood of the music. Because check it out. I'm going to now play chord 2 with mode 2. So look, here is C minor chord. Okay? And if you want to get the flavor of Dorian, check it out. That does not sound like the B flat major scale. That does not sound like a major music or major key. Those are the notes. All of those notes are in the key of B flat major. But that does not sound like major scale music at all. So yes, the notes are the same, but you are changing the context so much by milking that harmony and that arpeggio and the mode that goes with the chord. You understand? It is not it is not just the B flat major scale starting on another note. Theoretically it is, but in terms of mood, absolutely not. You need to spend time inside each chord of your key and play the mode that goes with the chord, and you're going to really, you see, this is the sound of Dorian. Oh, the key of B flat major, but no, this doesn't sound like the key of B flat major. Okay, anyways, so with modes, You need to understand what I just said first. Then, of course, you've got to play them and understand the formula of each mode and how it relates to the parent scale, and then how it relates to the major scale with the same root. Very important. Sorry, I'm now giving a lesson on modes, and I said I wouldn't. Anyways, here's a cool way to practice modes, is to take your 3-note per string shape. For instance, let's say I do E flat Lydian, okay? Here's E flat Lydian. Now, I would suggest using like a drone to do this, like a cello drone you can find on Spotify, or just record the chord that goes with that mode, that really spells out the mode. See these, maybe I'll make some backing tracks for the Patreon, because I think it's good to hear the chord that really suggests Lydian, not just a triad. Anyways, I'm losing my mind. Here's E flat Lydian. Now, instead of just playing this up and down, okay, I've written out a bunch of ways to get into permutations of that. And here they are. Here's some of them. I've written them all out again on this website that I made, which is totally free. So obviously, look at the order of the notes on each string. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? Try 2, 3, 1. You see, already it sounds like musical. Add some, put some rhythm in there. It starts to sound like I'm creating real melodies here. I'm adding some inflections, rhythm, dynamics, legato, and it starts to sound musical. That was just 2, 3, 1. What about 3, 1, 2? And again, all just changing the order of notes and adding some rhythm to it and adding some of your musicality. You start to make music with modes. And now, once you get that really in your ears and under your fingers, then we play bass. You can start to use these for fills. You see, I'm not just like I'm getting straight into I'm starting to now go, my fingers are used to that sound and used to playing it. I understand how it colors the chord. Can I go from playing bass to using these ideas now? And then back to playing bass in time. That would be like the final goal, the final boss of this concept is that once you've got these, okay, my fingers are there and I'm hearing it. See, now I'm starting to play fills. And of course, I'm playing a par here, but you can kind of do this down here. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. You know what I mean? Okay. Anyways, there's a billion things written out on the free thingy here. Check that out. Let's carry on. Hexatonics. Okay, I don't know how deep I want to go with this, but I'm going to talk about hexatonics. Pentatonics are 5-note scales. Hexatonics are 6-note scales. That's as simple as it needs to be. So as an example, here's E flat major pentatonic. if I just add the seventh, major 7, now I've got a 6-note scale, which is a flippin' awesome scale though. And pretty much if you can use pentatonic, you can use a hexatonic in most cases. It's going to sound, to me, more melodic and beautiful. So check it out. If you're playing E flat groove, this is an example of, that's like hexatonic scale. This would be pentatonic. It's very like Motowny 60s soul happy song sounding. But when you play that seventh, just changes the vibe completely. I don't know why my computer's doing that. Why? Sorry. That's more the flavor. Such a cool sound. What's super cool and fun is, if you are playing on an E flat major chord, or E flat major 7, you can use E flat major hexatonic. But also, if you're playing on A flat major, you can play E flat major hexatonic. And then you're making it sound Lydian. So you see A flat major, but I'm playing E flat major hexatonic. And then now we are getting into semi-advanced stuff here. But, you know, that's, we're taking it step by step. We're going all the way, you know. So A flat major, but I'm playing E flat major hexatonic. Anyways, all of the stuff is written out. I just thought I would touch on that so you can get into it or read about it. You can check out the site. I've written a bunch of stuff. And again, I wrote out all the kind of hexatonic scales I like and how to use them, what they are, blah, blah, blah. Let's carry on. Okay, there's a page on dealing with dominant chords. Now, dominant 7 chord, generally your 5 chord in any major key, but also common for funk vamps. So you'll hear people will stay on a dominant 7 chord as like the A section of a song or groove. So it's kind of cool to know more than your mixolydian scale. There's so many things you can do, which I wrote out like a bunch that I like, from most consonant to most dissonant. So as you go through the list, you need to be more careful with how you use that spice and really understand how to resolve lines. So we can get into this, even though I've done a video on this before. E mixolydian. Okay, let's say you got an E dominant 7 groove. Someone's just playing this. Now, these are the kind of classic sounds, like 7th chord arpeggio and then mixolydian. Then you can add that flat 3 to major 3 thing, like bluesy kind of sound. And if you can add that kind of minor third, you're getting into a minor pentatonic. So you can play E minor pentatonic, and you're getting a really bluesy sound when you do that. If you can play E minor pentatonic, that means you can play E minor blues. So you're just adding that flat 5. On a dominant 7 chord. So you got your E mixolydian, you got E7 arpeggio, you got E minor pentatonic, you got E minor blues. Then we can get into F sharp minor pentatonic. As long as you resolve, remember, you can play anything with as long as you resolve and have good direction, momentum, and rhythm. Okay. D major 7. I said this before. So here's E dominant 7, but I'm playing D major 7. I love this sound. La, da, da. It makes the dominant chord sound sweet. That's why I like it. Because I'm a sweet guy. Okay. You can get in some deep stuff here. What about A melodic minor? So check this out. If you have E dominant 7 and you play melodic minor off the 4th, what's happening is, okay, of course you're playing your melodic minor scale now. But what's happening is you're just only one note difference between playing E mixolydian and playing A melodic minor is the sharp 5. So it's kind of like E dominant 7 with a sharp 5. So that's all you're doing. So you can play melodic minor of the 4th, is what I'm saying. As long as you resolve. Okay. You can also play melodic minor of the 5th. B melodic minor. And what happens when you do that is, now you're going to get boom, boom, bum. This is all diatonic. 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 You see. But then you get that flat 5 or sharp 11. So you're basically getting E7, sharp 11. So when you play melodic minor of the 4th, you're getting a sharp 5. When you play melodic minor of the 5, you're getting sharp 4. I mean, it's like they swap around, kind of, you know. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I've missed the chat. Oh, these like the pentatonic blues boxes. I did talk about that. Yes. Pluck the string with your fingers. Do a rhythm, blah, blah, blah. So grateful for lessons. This is rad. Awesome. Angel Vokes. Sorry I missed these. Are these like the pentatonic blues boxes? I was talking about that. So grateful for your lessons. That's awesome to hear. Then we have Crispy Oranges, who's obviously a bit of a sack munch. Okay, I'm carrying on here. Just remember, any questions? I'm looking at the chat now. I'm so sorry. I'm looking here. I can see what you're writing. So just ask me a question if you haven't. Crispy Oranges, you helped me play. Thanks, bro. All good. Any questions, please put them in the chat. Let's try keep it reasonable, because otherwise we're just wasting everyone's time. You know what I'm saying? We can have a comedy podcast another time, you know. Anyways, on E dominant 7, we did A melodic minor, we did B melodic minor. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. The next step, I would say, though, in talking about dealing with dominant chords, E7, you can either have this as a vamp, so someone's just staying on E7 forever. And then you can use all those concepts I spoke about. But also, a lot of times, E7 wants to go to A major 7, 5 to 1. You see it? That sound. So the next step to practice is to take all those concepts we just spoke about, but instead of resolving back to E7, you're going to resolve to chord 1, to A major 7. So you need to come from your E7 concepts. You can pick one of the ones we spoke about, but now instead of resolving like this back to E7, you're now going to resolve E7 to A. So now you need to think, I need to resolve from E7 to A flat major to A major 7. So you see, I hit the 3rd of that A major 7. So now I'm practicing 5 to 1, a very common progression. You That's me aiming for the third of A. Okay. So I could take one of those concepts, for instance. Remember we spoke about playing B melodic minor. So now I'm going to think B melodic minor going to resolve to A major 7. So, beautiful. I can go. There's the root of A, you see. I go up my B melodic minor, and there's a nice, from the 7th of the B melodic minor, resolving a semitone down to the root of A major 7. So this is how you can start to practice this. Do it slowly and out of time. Okay. Don't go, it sounds like shit, sounds like shit, sounds like shit, sounds like shit, sounds like... No. Play the scale slowly. Listen to how it sounds over the E7. And then, oh, look. That's such a cool way to get to resolving to A major. Or even staying. You see that 9. The root of B melodic minor is the 9 of A major 7. It's very glorious. Okay. So do that out of time, really slow. Don't just try to shove it in. It's not easy. Be kind to yourself. Another example again, E7 going to A major 7. What's cool about this, check this out. We said we could play A mixolydian on that E7, and that gives you that sharp 5. Okay, so I need to play A melodic minor going to A major 7. That's glorious because it's the same root. So on E7 to A major 7, I'm playing A melodic minor going to A major 7. Wow. Okay, check it out. You see. So that's what you practice now. And there's a million things you can do. I've written out every concept that I spoke about. You can practice those first in one key. Don't destroy your own soul. Okay. So practice just one of these concepts on E7 a day, or spend a whole week, 5-10 minutes a day on just playing B melodic minor on E7. That's it. 10 minutes of that. Only that. Don't try to do every concept in every key. No, that's a bad idea. Pick one to play on that chord. Get it in your fingers and in your ears on just the E7 chord. Then say, now I want to do that resolving to A major 7. And again, you do it out of time. You find the resolution points. You find pathways to get there. Because let's say I do this. Okay, there. But if I went this way, oh, there. You see, every pathway I go down a different pathway. I have to find a different resolution point for smooth voice leading for a note that's nearby. That's why you do that. And you go slow. Oh, yeah. Oh, you see, I hit the 5th that time because I started there, because that was what was nearby. Because you don't always want this happening, like, oh, I need to get to A. No, that can be cool if you're going for this, like, real angular sound. But for smooth voice leadings, when you're playing like something that's outside the key to something inside, try aim for smooth voice leading. So maximum tone or semitone away. Okay, not all the time, but in the beginning, so that you understand tension and release and how to do that. Any questions, please put it in the chat. I can see some people watching. If you have any questions about what I'm talking about, the link to where all of these concepts are written out is in the description. It's a free website I made because I want people to have access to this information for free. You don't have to put your email address in. You don't have to give me, like, your t-shirt size or your bank details, your mom's maiden name. It's just a website. The link is there. Everything I'm talking about is all written out in every key with videos for you to check out. So check it out. I'm going to carry on going now. If you're following along with the page, I'm on the chapter called Dealing with Dominance. And I've spoken a lot about that, and now I'm going to carry on going. But if you have any questions about bass or our pedals, please let me know. I'm carrying on to the next chapter. Lesson 9, harmonic and melodic minor. Now, let it be known I'm not a master at either of these. I'm not Chicoria, okay? But I kind of have a basic understanding of them and how I like to use them. I mean, I already just spoke about how to use melodic minor on dominant chords, but just in terms of, again, getting a bit into melodic minor for 5 seconds, okay? Melodic minor is, to me, it's a spicy sound. It gives you this kind of sound. You see, you have a minor major 7, you have a minor triad, and at the top you have a major 7. And you have this fight happening. There's a lot of tension inside that chord. But I mean, it's kind of like if you want to get into it, play it a lot, listen to music where people use it, because if you grew up listening to like pop and rock music like me, you don't hear the sound a lot. Maybe Stevie Wonder, yes, he has been known to use this. Like I Can't Help It by Michael Jackson, that has some melodic minor elements in it, and he wrote that. Or there's another tune I'm thinking of, but I can't think of it right now. But anyways, so a quick way to remember melodic minor if you've never checked it out, if you know your modes of your major scale, is look, it's kind of like Dorian with a major 7. It's like Dorian with a major 7. Some people say melodic minor is like the major scale or flat 3. The reason I don't like that is because it's not a major scale. It's not a major mode or a major scale. It has a flat 3, and it goes with a chord that has a flat 3. So I don't like calling it anything major. The melodic minor scale to me is a minor scale. It's literally called melodic minor. It does not have a major third. So don't say it's like the major scale with a flat 3. Don't think like that. That's just my advice, my opinion. I think of it as a minor mode or a minor scale with a natural 7. And I'd rather say it's Dorian major 7. That's just my own personal preference. So check it out. You see, you've got everything is the same as Dorian except has that major 7. So if you've practiced your like Dorian mode, you just need to like raise that 7th or make it a natural 7, and you got it. That's how it looks across when you play 3-note per string. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like spend time like we did with a major scale and the modes of the major scale. Sorry, Sammy, how do you link arpeggios with pentatonic scales? I spoke about that earlier. That is a good way to do that is pentatonics of chord tones of your arpeggios, but I think I'm wondering if you mean like understanding that here's B minor pentatonic. Inside B minor pentatonic are all the notes of B minor 7. Check it out. 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. That's B minor 7 arpeggio. And then if you add just that note, now you're playing B minor pentatonic. They can be linked for sure. Especially like I spoke about hexatonic scales. B hexatonic is major is kind of almost the same as the B major 7 arpeggio. It's just got one extra note. That's one way. Or like I spoke about earlier on in the video, and when this video is done, you can go back and watch. I spoke about pentatonics off of chord tones of arpeggios, and also arpeggios off of arpeggio. You can get really deep. All of this is on this website I'm talking about. But let me know if that's what you mean, or yeah, just let me know. So that was just a little basic vibe of melodic minor. You can get into all the modes of melodic minor the same way you do with the major scale, okay? So you learn your melodic minor mode, and then you learn all your modes of melodic minor. And you can learn all your 7th chords, of melodic minor. So you're going to have like B flat minor major 7. And then you're going to have all of these new chords. There's augmented harmony in there. I do like that when it comes to melodic minor, you have 2 dominant chords and then you have 2 minor 7 flat 5 chords. right next to each other. Look, dominant, dominant, minor 7 flat 5, minor 7 flat 5. So you can play like these patterns, which is pretty insane. So yeah, if you're in the key of B flat melodic minor, you can play E flat dominant, F dominant. You can play G minor 7 flat 5, A minor 7 flat 5 to resolve to whatever you want. But that's pretty awesome. B flat melodic minor, 4 and 5 are dominant, 6 and 7 are minor 7 flat 5. You can make up the most insane chord progressions ever with that. And no one will ever like them or listen to them, and your wife will divorce you and move in with your best friend. So these are the risks you take when you're dealing with melodic minor. Harmonic minor, Spanish vibes. Okay, Chick Corea used this scale a lot. Again, I don't want to get so deep into harmonic minor because I'm not an expert on it. Essentially, it's kind of like natural minor with a major 7. You see, you get this sound. Like a very kind of Spanish vibe, flamenco sound. Again, it's a minor chord with a major 7. And it's kind of like natural minor with a major 7. And it gives you that Spanish sound. Now, I really like using it if you have a dominant chord, like F dominant 7 going to a minor chord. So let's say F7 resolving to B flat minor 7. This. Then you can use on that F7 B flat harmonic minor or F Phrygian dominant to resolve to B flat minor 7. Okay, so that's one case where you can use harmonic minor quite easily. Yes, so there's a case where I use it quite a lot. Other than that, I don't use it that much. There's songs like what's that song by Bill Withers and Grover Washington Jr. that everyone plays? What's just the two of us? Oh, there. So look, when you have E flat major 7 going to D7 to G minor 7, you see this happens in just the two of us. You see that? I'm sure you know this. What the F is the end part there? Oh, that's it, yeah. Okay, so sorry guys. This is it. So E flat major 7, D7, G minor 7, F minor, B flat 7. Okay, so when that happens here, look. This 5 to minor, they chuck that little thing there. This part here is a great place to use harmonic minor. So E flat major 7, when it gets to this D7 to get to G minor, right there is a beautiful place to use G harmonic minor. You see, so just in that moment, that's a perfect spot for harmonic minor. So you see, or okay, it gives you this kind of Spanish flamenco-y sound. Those are the places I like to use it. Okay, not that much. On a dominant chord going to minor, 5 dominant flat 9 to minor 1. I like this. or like I just showed you, when a dominant is going to a minor and any as a 5 to a minor, then I like to use it there. But other than that, I don't use it that much because it's not a flavor that speaks to me that much or appeals to me that much. That's just my opinion. Anyways, I'm talking shit. Let's carry on. We're talking about bass chords now. I love bass chords. Okay, again, we are looking at my bass fundamentals course. We are now getting into pretty semi-advanced stuff. So yeah, we're on the lesson called bass chords, and we're going to talk about bass chords. I briefly spoke about chords when we spoke about triads like 9 hours ago. So check it out. Here's a major triad, here's a minor triad, here's a diminished triad, here's an augmented triad, here's a sus4, here's a sus2. You got to know your triads. Okay. 1 3 5, 1 flat 3 5, 1 flat 3 flat 5, 1 3 sharp 5, 1 2 5, 1 4 5. Those are your basic triad shapes. So I would get those down across 3 strings just like that. If you have that down already, you want to get them down in spread voicings as tenths. So I'm sure some of you have heard of this before. So this is a major, 1 5 3 at the top. That's a nice voicing on bass. And mine is this. You just lower your third. So look, 1 5 3 at the top, or 1 5 flat 3 at the top. So these are all triads: major, minor, diminished, augmented, sus2, sus4, and here's major like spread voicing, 10th, and minor as a 10th. Whoops. Okay, now let's get on to 7th chords. That's what I want to move on to because it's a lot more enjoyable for me. So check it out. Let's learn 7th chord chords on bass across 3 strings. So look, if we're doing G major 7, 1 3 7 is a nice voicing. Beautiful. Minor 7, here's a nice voicing. 1 flat 3 flat 7. So practice major 7 and practice minor 7 and dominant 7, 1 3 flat 7. So those are across these 3 strings: major 7, minor 7, dominant 7. If you want to play these now from the E string and play a bit of a different voicing, you can play this. Let's do D major 7, 1 7 3 at the top. This is D major 7, 1 7 3. To make it dominant, you just move that 7 down a semitone. 1 flat 7 3. So here's a major 7, and here's minor 7. I mean dominant 7. To make that minor 7, you move that third down, and that's your minor 7 voicing. So again, here's major 7, here's dominant 7, here's minor 7. All of these sound cool on the bass. I'll play them in G up here. Major 7, dominant 7, minor 7. So we're kind of learning them from the E. There's the E string, D string, and G string. Or we can play them across these 3 strings, like I said, the A, D, and G, which is major 7, minor 7, dominant 7. These are 3 classic voicings for major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, okay? A lot of bass players learn that. Now, once you have that down, you can start getting into some deeper bass chords, some more interesting harmony, maybe. So as an example, I've written out on this part of the lesson plan all these voicings I love and that I use. Okay. For example, 1 5 7. So let's say you have C major 7. You can play 1 5 7. That's really nice. You can play 1 9 7. You can play 1 sharp 11 9. 1 sharp 11 5. You can play 1 sharp 11 9. You can play 1 6 7. You can play 7, 5, 6. You can play 1, 5, 9. And then I'm now combining these 1, 9, 7 with a third in the bass. Beautiful. All of those voicings could act as a 4 chord. All of them. So that is just a bunch of voicings for the 4 chord. So many. All of those could work as a 4 chord. Again, I've written out all of those voicings I've just played on this page. Okay. Now, something I like to do is take one voicing that I like and move it through all of the modes. So you get these voicings and you learn how to play them from every point in the scale, not just one. As an example, I said there 7, 5, 6 is a nice voicing. Listen to that. It's so beautiful. So look, C major, if I played the 7th, the 5th, and the 6th, it gives me a beautiful voicing. Now I can play that on every position of my mode. I can take that shape through the modes. For instance, 1, 5, 9. And now I'm moving that voicing through the key. It sounds glorious. And even for fills, you can play like insane fills where you like kind of use these chords. That's what I do with these. Like 1, 5, 6 is another one. 1, 5, 6. Take that through every chord. It's such a cool sound. And again, you can start to like ornament these with the mode around it. So you can see I'm starting to add notes from nearby to make it more melodic. Okay, my God. All of these are written out, and check out that page because I can't go through every voicing and every key because then I'm going to be here for 9 more hours. But if you like any of those and you like chords and the bass, then check out that lesson, which I think is lesson 10, bass chords, and I've written out all these voicings I really like. And so I'm just showing you how to use this stuff. That's what this video I'm doing right now is all about. It's like you're going to see this written down, or people are going to teach you, or you're going to download some PDF someone made. But how do you actually play these things and practice them and make them sound musical? That's the question. And so hopefully this is helping you to make that happen. Let's carry on. Chromatics is the next lesson. This is a tough one. We are starting to get into more, advanced stuff here. Chromaticism. Okay, this is what I want to say about chromaticism. Chromaticism is taught wrong a lot because people don't include rhythm when they talk about chromaticism. So when people think about chromatics, they think like note outside the key, note in the key, note outside the key, note in the key. Okay? What I mean by that is, let's say you take C major. People will go, okay, play a note that's not in the scale before you play a note in the scale. So as an example, okay, now if you're going to play F and you want to go to G, go. And if you want to play A, just go. And if you want to play B, go. If you want to play C, you could go, or you could go. Okay, yes, that is what chromatics is, the notes in between the notes. But you have to include rhythm. So what I mean by that is, if you start on a chromatic note and you play to a diatonic note, you might be hitting that diatonic note on a weak beat, and you might be hitting the chromatic note on a strong beat. And oftentimes that's like not what people want to hear, actually. So when they play with chromatics, if they got taught like that, they just go, this just sounds weird and wrong. Okay. And because it is kind of weird and wrong. So what you need to try to do is aim at a strong note on a strong beat. So as an example, here's C major 7. And I want to get to the 7th. And if I play a line like this, okay, that's very nice. If I want to add a chromatic, you see, you see, you see, I'm hitting the 7th on a strong beat. I put the chromatic on a weak beat to lead me into the chord tone being on the strong beat. This is what you need to practice. Don't just randomly put a chromatic before a chord tone and think it's going to work. Think about direction, momentum, and think about rhythm. Okay? You see, I wanted to get from the 7th of A flat to the 5th. And I went the chromatic helped me to put the 5th on the beat. Because if I didn't play the chromatic and I went, that doesn't sound as strong. Now the chord tone is off the beat. But you see, now the chromatics help me get that note on the beat. That's what you have to practice when you practice chromatics. Here's something that potentially will blow your mind if you're an absolute nerd. Here's C major scale. Look at this. When I play it, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I hit the octave on a weak beat, on an upbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and. Did you ever notice that when you practice your major scale starting on the beat and you play 8th notes, you're actually ending it on a weak beat, on an upbeat? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and. If you start on the upbeat, you'll end on a strong beat. Check it out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Try practice your scale starting on the and. Instead of going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, go and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Any mode. You see, it can even be Dorian, whatever. Play starting on the upbeat, and then you'll end on the strong beat when you play 8th note scales. Now, Greg, why is this important when it comes to chromatics? Well, once you understand this, check it out. I'm starting on the beat, and then it means when I play 8th notes, I end my phrase on an upbeat. And I've just been told that that's not always the best thing. That's not always what we want to happen. And like I just said, one option is to start on the and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. The other option, though, is to add a chromatic. Because if you add a chromatic, you're going to push that octave being on the and to now being on the beat, obviously. Because you've added 1 8th note. So check it out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. You see, I put the chromatic here. And now I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and boom. Now I'm on the beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. This is why chromatics are cool. Because now I shifted the strong chord tone to a strong beat by adding a chromatic. Oh my God. I hope that's understandable. And now, if we understand this, wow. So if we play even 8th notes and we start on the beat, we might end on a weak beat. But if we add 1 chromatic, we'll end on a strong beat. Does that chromatic have to go over here? Because you hear people talk about the bebop scale. They say that's where the major bebop scale is. That chromatic can go anywhere. There is no such thing as the bebop scale. Well, there is. Someone invented it. But you can put that chromatic note anywhere. It does not have to only go there. Check it out. So look. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I'm ending on a weak beat, so I'm gonna start on an off beat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, or I'm gonna add a chromatic, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and That chromatic, I added it there. I can add it anywhere. You see, I added it here. The exact same thing will happen. Let's add it here. You see? I put a flat 2 in. Oh, you see? When I'm descending, the same thing. You put the chromatic there. If I didn't put the chromatic, look what happens. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's cool if you're playing a Motowny bass line, but if you don't know that that's happening, you're doing something wrong. Look again, I descend with no chromatic. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I can start on the upbeat and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, or I can add a chromatic anywhere. See, I added it there, or I can add it there. Doesn't matter. That chromatic has now helped me to play a beautiful eighth note line with momentum and put the chord tone on the beat, on a strong beat. That's how you practice chromatics. That's how you start understanding why chromatics are cool. Because they're interesting, but only if done with the correct rhythms. Chromaticism and rhythm go together. Amen. Let's see if I can carry on. Oh my God, I'm dying. Lesson 12 from my bass fundamentals course, reharmonization and playing outside. Playing outside means non-diatonic stuff. I just spoke about chromatics. That's kind of one way to start getting into playing outside the key, of course. You are playing chromatic notes, non-diatonic notes. But like I said, you need to understand rhythm and chromaticism, which I just covered now. Another approach to playing notes from outside the key is something I'm going to get into right now. Now, this is getting into like advanced improvisation type stuff. I don't like to use the words intermediate and advanced, but I'm just using it because I know everyone kind of has an idea of what that means. But we're going to talk about playing outside if I can keep going because my brain is destroyed. If you have any questions and you're watching the chat, I can see there's some of you here. Please ask a question if you have any questions because that would be beautiful. But we're going to talk about playing outside. What does this mean? Like I said, it just means notes that are not inside the key. Now, a common way to do this is this. A lot of people teach this and do this. Here's G minor 7. And then people play G minor pentatonic. So you're playing on G minor groove, and you're going to take a solo and you do this. You're playing G minor pentatonic stuff, and people go, I want to play like some outside stuff. And people do this, like sidestepping. So you just take the phrase you've just played and you just move it up a semitone and now it's not in the key and then you go back and resolve. So essentially it's tension and release. You start, nice, diatonic, you go tense and you go back to diatonic. That's like the classic way you hear. And it doesn't have to be a semitone away. It can be anywhere outside the key. As long as you go in and out and resolve. That's step 1 to playing outside. Like this is what most people teach, which is like I just did there. Take something pentatonic, move it outside the key, move it back. So if you want to start like getting into this kind of tension and release and playing inside, outside, inside, that's a really good place to start. Just play it pentatonic, move it outside, move it back in. You can take that as far as you want, like do it, 3 times in 4 different places. Don't always just do it a semitone away. Do it there. You can do whatever you want with it. You can explore and play with that and have a lot of fun with that. You see, I like kind of took it a lot of different places, but all built off of a pentatonic scale. That is one way. Now, something I really like to do is suggest other harmony. This is kind of more how I think about playing outside, okay? And again, I am not like the pro master at this. I'm just telling you how I like to do this, which is, let's say I'm playing in G, and we learned earlier on in this giant lesson about, you know, what all our chords are in the key of G major. And now, so what you do is, you're playing in G, you pick a chord that's not in the key of G. For instance, in the key of G major, there's no B flat major. And so now what I do is I go, you see, I play G major, then I went to B flat major, and I resolved to G. So I'm implying another chord from outside the key on top of the key. This is what I like to do, okay? I'm kind of playing D flat major, F major, C major, D flat again, and then resolving to G. So instead of it just sounding like someone's doing this, it sounds like, you see, I'm implying other harmony. So you really need to like spell out those chords in a very clear way. Otherwise it just sounds crazy. So second inversion triads and first inversion major triads are very powerful. So I played a whole bunch of triads there, and I linked them with voice leading, and then I resolve. Anyways, this is like getting into crazy stuff now. I don't know if this is interesting to anyone. This is something you can practice really slowly. Is you play like a little groove, you get a D minor 7 vamp going, and you try. Outline other harmony, link them, and resolve. You can start with just one chord though. Obviously, I'm doing like 5, but let's say you went D minor 7 and you just chose like A flat major 7 and back to D minor 7. So now you're going to say, you see, I went down A flat major 7 and then resolved. So D minor, like Dorian, and then A flat, and then resolve to D minor. That's what I would practice. I would be like D minor stuff. There's my A flat major, and back to D minor. Pick another chord. Let's say A major. So now I'm going D minor, A major, back to D minor 7. Okay, that's how I like to think about it. And then you can go like, how deep do you want to go with it? You know, do you want to play 5 chords outside the key? Do you want to play a chord inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside? Because look, I could go A flat, A, B flat is inside, and then back to D minor. You see? I can play a chord from inside, a chord from outside, a chord from inside, a chord from outside, and back to in. Or I can play 3 outside chords and 1 inside chord and back to resolving to the 1. You can get super deep into this. I wrote a whole lesson plan on this on the page, where I speak about like kind of strong ways to start getting into this, which is using a common tone, which is cool. Again, if you had D minor 7, here's the note C. Okay, so C could be the 7th of D flat, could be the 3rd of A flat, it could be the 6th of E flat major 6, it could be the 5th of F. F major or minor, and it could be the flat 3 of A minor 7. You see, so now instead of D minor 7, you could play this on top of D minor 7. So, and you can get into composing very cool stuff with common tones like this. See, always at the top. And once you can hear this, oh, now I can really outline those chords. So once I could hear that common tone, and I could hear all those chords linking that common tone, now I'm improvising with all those chords. Anyways, oh my God. I think I'm going to stop there. The next chapter was on playing to chord changes, but I've been going for like 2 hours. Any questions before I go? I'm looking at the chat. I can see that some of you here. I'm going to upload this video to my page. So if you want to slow anything down or watch anything again, it's going to all be there. There's a link to this whole lesson plan in the description of this video, where I've written all of this stuff out in all keys, and I put videos underneath each section. If you ever want to get deeper lessons, you can sign up to my Patreon or DM me on Instagram.com/celebritypedals if you'd like to book a lesson or buy a pedal. But yeah, I hope that was helpful to anyone. If any of you watched this whole thing, you're an absolute monstrous person, and thank you so much. But yeah, cool. Any questions, any last thoughts in the chat that I can help you out with before I go? Let me know. All good. If not, thank you so much for those of you who did comment. Pentatonic boxes, grateful for the lessons. Absolutely. Thank you to you. All good. Linking arpeggio, scales. Yes, we spoke about all of those things. It's been so glorious. Yeah. More to come. Bye.